75% of resumes get rejected before they reach a hiring manager. This statistic exists because of the job recruiter's favorite tool, the applicant tracking system, or ATS. These tools collect, scan, sort, and rank resumes in real time as they come in. They're the reason why every online application requires you to copy and paste your entire resume into different forms of information. They're also why the majority of applicants don't get reviewed by an actual human being. Maybe you're an enthusiastic, up-and-coming medical coder who just passed all of your tests. Or you're a seasoned expert within this field and you want to find a new place to work at. Either way, the fact I just mentioned is pretty demotivational, isn't it? This is a problem that everyone applying for a job has to overcome regardless of the position or industry. This means that there are ways to navigate past these systems and guarantee that your application gets reviewed by a recruiter or human resources manager. An ATS ranks applicants based on keywords. In other words, if your resume doesn't contain any references to what the organization listed within their job description, your application will get rejected automatically. This also means that the job application process isn't stagnant anymore. It requires you to organically change your resume based on what the job you're applying to is asking for. Hi everyone, I'm Matt from Tactics, and today I'm going to go over medical coding skills you should include on your resume. Before we get started though, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking that button below. While you're down there, hit that alert bell icon next to it as well, so when we post new helpful content, you get notified. The very first skill you should include on your resume if you're applying for a medical coding job is attention to detail. Medical coding is all about transforming healthcare diagnoses and treatments into their alphanumeric counterparts. These codes then define how much to charge a patient for what they received. Any errors during this process leads to denials by insurance providers and less revenue for the practice that you work at. That's a lot of outside pressure on you during this process. Okay, I say all this, but do healthcare organizations actively seek out this skill set in their candidates? Well, this is a picture from an active medical coding job opening at the time of this video from Agilon Health. Nothing in this job description comes out right away and says, attention to detail is what we need. However, certain parts of it hint towards how important it is to the organization and that they value it very much. In their description, Agilon Health listed 10 essential functions so that their applicants know what's expected of them should they land the job. My analysis found that 14 different action phrases listed within this section requires that their candidate have a high attention to detail in order to qualify as a good applicant. Now, I do want to mention placing high attention to detail within the skill section of your resume probably isn't enough to qualify you to land the job. You actually have to prove that you have this skill, and that comes within the experience section of your resume. The second skill you should add to your resume as a medical coder is critical thinking. Essentially, everything that can happen to you medically has a corresponding ICD-10 code, soon to be ICD-11 code. Currently, medical coders choose from 70,000 possible alphanumeric classifications under ICD-10. ICD-11 adds over 200,000 new possibilities to that existing number. As a result, classifications might only vary slightly based on specificity. As an example, was the patient struck by a fish? Then they're classified under W56.22XS. It's possible that the specifics weren't included in any of the doctor's notes. After all, how could anyone expect a doctor to ask what kind of fish struck their patient? However, these details matter in medical coding and they're only achievable through critical thinking skills. A job opening at G Health reinforces that critical thinking is a highly sought after skill set for these positions. Just like the last example, you want to look at and interpret the responsibilities section. After analyzing the responsibilities G Health assigns to their medical coders, I noticed that they place a high value on critical thinking. Specifically, they listed 10 core responsibilities and critical thinking is sought after 8 times. The third and fourth skills for you to include are time management and prioritization. Of course, time management lands on our list of medical coding skills you should add to your resume. After all, LinkedIn named it the 5th most important skill to land a job in 2019. But why is it ranked higher on our list? Well, there's a time limit placed on healthcare claims just in case your workload wasn't already too much. They are notoriously called timely filing limits. Insurance companies place a time limit on when they'll accept a claim. They kick off this process as soon as the appointment concludes with a patient. If you're the coder and you take too long to get through your pile of work, it's likely some of the claims that you work through will go past their accepted timely filing window. As a result, you'd submit the claim and the insurance company would immediately deny it. To solve that issue, healthcare organizations also place a high value on the ability to prioritize. Ophthalmic consultants of the Capital Region place a special emphasis on those two skills. Their posting mentions time 3 separate times throughout their 10 listed responsibilities. Even if the organization you're applying for doesn't list prioritization or time management, it's still an essential skill to add to your resume. The 5th and most important skill to add to your resume is dependability or adherence. Every organization and position within healthcare has to follow certain guidelines and policies. Of course, there's the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, also known as HIPAA, but there's also going to be a book of policies specific to the organization that you choose to work for. As a result, organizations want candidates who don't have a problem committing to the rules. But adherence in medical coding actually goes beyond compliance and internal policies. There are also certain rules and guidelines that you can't ignore, like duplicate billing rules. Accusys LLC wants someone with prior experience for their remote outpatient medical coder position, and you can tell that without going into the requirements section of their listing. This position mentions words related to adherence 3 times within their 12 listed responsibilities. Now, people just starting out within this industry are familiar with HIPAA regulations, but learning the laws ins and outs happens while on the job. Listing each skill I've mentioned here isn't a solve-all, but it's only within the responsibilities of a job posting that you understand what qualities the organization wants in their candidates. Once you've realized what they want, you can then adjust your resume to match using keywords. Then, it's only a matter of time before they call you expressing interest in an interview with you. You have the medical coding skills to land a job, I know it. Now it's just a matter of time of reflecting them the right way within your resume. If you'd like to learn more about important medical coding skills, reach out to eTactics. And you already made this far into the video, so you might as well like it, share it, and comment below. What are you waiting for? Subscribe to our YouTube channel.